And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Sparkling Tuna Cup. Welcome back to the quarterfinals as we are jumping into our fresh best of 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And god damn it, spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Brodos player. He's playing his main race. Let's go, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Eva. Let's go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamma time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our TvP. And I warned you about this at the same time. Okay, so a couple of things. First things first, as I mentioned before, Eva's Protoss, it has been looking pretty damn good against Terran. He's been very confident, and he almost beat ByuN last time. He did almost beat him. Actually, it was on this map. It was on Pylon as well. There was a very intense back and forth between Eva and ByuN. But fun fact, I did message him just before this series. I was like, yo, are we gonna witness the power of Protoss? And he was like, you know what, I think I'll play Zerg. I think I feel confident in my Zerg. I think if I have like a strong start, I actually feel like I can beat ByuN, like, not gonna lie. I was like, oh yeah, okay, let's go. And then he talked himself out of it. He was like, actually, ByuN has been playing a lot of mech. He's been playing a lot of Mass Cyclone recently. I don't want to play against Mass Cyclone. And he's like, you know what, never mind. I was like, god damn it. So it did commit to Protoss, and let's go. And if you're in the chat, of course, predictions are open. Place your bets on how you want this to go, on who you want this to take, or who you believe will claim the series. But he was gonna play Zerg, but then again he was reminded that ByuN has been massing Cyclone recently, and it's true. Like, ByuN has been playing a lot of Mass Cyclone in TvC. A lot of Terran players have been going Mass Cyclone, to be fair. So that has traumatized Eva, and he's like, I don't want to get cycloned right now. It's like understandable. Doesn't want to get cycloned, but so has been scared off of Zerg for the time being. And here we go. Reaper does dip into the main. Does dip in. So far it's going to be a standard opening here. Ooh, one probe does already go down though. Nice start here for ByuN. Ooh, nice start. Gets one. Eva does pull away, saves the second probe, and behind this, going for his Twilight Council opener, going towards Blink. So standard opener here out of Eva. So far, so good. Because ByuN looking to go in. Does dip into said main base, rotates back into the main. Can he get that probe? He's doing one probe already. Can he get the others? So far, Eva does pull away. Nice control out of Eva. Does pull back those weakened workers, and he does defend well here. Oh, almost. Can he get him? Oh, no. Can he get him? Not quite. Misplaced gateway, and the Reaper is forced out. Behind this, we do have our natural base being taken. Again, it was a standard, more economic start here. Following this up with a Widowmine drop, so nothing crazy here. Standard opener out of ByuN. Now, amongst Terran players here, ByuN, he's the least aggressive. When I think of Terran players like ByuN, players like Cure, players like Gumiho, players like Maru, players like Bunny, a lot of them are very, very willing and very excited about just going for 2 base all-ins. Double gas into 2 base all-in, and you just pull the boys. I will say that ByuN is the most macro-oriented amongst all of them. Amongst Cure, amongst Maru, against Bunny, like, I think ByuN has the most potential, the most proclivity here to get into a longer macro game and towards the mid game instead of going for these all-ins. Not saying that he can't all-in, he totally can, and he can mix it in, don't get me wrong, but I feel like he, again, is more likely to get a third, more so than the other Korean Terrans. But here we go. Reaper into the main. Widowmine drops towards left hand side, is spotted by the hallucinations. Eva is aware, and we'll see if Eva can keep up as one probe goes down. That's 2 probe kills so far. That's 2 probe kills. The Reaper going back in gets another probe, but for its life. So 3 probes for a Reaper. Nice trade for ByuN. Meanwhile, Mind Drop is going in, rotates towards the right hand side. Eva, he's ready at the natural. What about the main? What about the main base? Mind Drop does come in and will unload. Does unload. Eva does bait out the mine shots. And we'll clean up the first Widow Mine. We have a second mine here towards the natural. We'll boost in. And Eva, he does react. Oh my god. Does react in time. Nice unburrow here by ByuN, trying to buy some time, trying to deny mining time for as long as possible. Oh, the retargeting. Nice trade. Takes out a Stalker. and eBay cannot go back to mining. So overall, I would say, yeah, better trades here for ByuN, catching a Stalker, getting across the map with said medevac. And remember, behind this, Cloak Banshee. Cloak is almost done. And eBay, does he have any detection? The answer is 0 detection, no robo, no detection. Third base is on the way, which means this may just end the game. Banshee arrives, 0 detection. That's 3 damage. GG. GG gets called. ByuN, he will claim the game. He'll pop off with the invisible flying machine. GG. GG, well played. We spoke about this kind of scenario in the previous PvP, if you remember. Lunacy versus Sig Game 3. We spoke about how there are instances in PvP where the Protoss player does... where the Protoss player does delay their robo, right? Oh. Hold on. Does delay their robo here when it comes to their tech. It does go for a faster third base. In TvP, it's very similar. It is not uncommon to delay your robo, get a faster third, and be a little bit greedier here and delay your tech. The problem, and again, if you don't scout, we saw no follow-up hallucination scout out of Eva. If you're unable to confirm, you are vulnerable to these Banshees and they can straight up end the game. It happens in PvP, happens in TvP as well. Whether it's DTs walking in or Banshees going in, if the opposing Protoss player did decide to delay their robo, that's just game. That's just game then and there. GG, well played. We're now getting into game number 2. We are getting into the rest of our series. And spawning in the top right-hand corner here of Leylines, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion, leading the series 1-0. It is ByuN. And spawning in the... Spawning in the bottom-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have the... player from the UK representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Eva. Here we go. Does have a chance versus Zerg, with his Zerg? I would disagree with that. I would say he does. If you've been watching Eba, like, you know that his Zerg is pretty damn strong. And again, we've seen his Protoss against ByuN as well. Once again, when it comes to what just happened in the last game, we have seen Max Packs tap out in the same situation. We've seen Hero tap out in the same situation. As we were trying to emphasize, it is not uncommon for Protoss players to delay their tech and to delay their robo in such a way. Here, of course, it was Eba unable to determine that it was a Banshee follow-up. But yeah, I mean, if it happens to Max Pack, if it happens to Hero, it happens to the best of us. So it is a situation that does occur in PvT. As Eba's forsake the unnatural natural. Again, the eBay block was successful here by ByuN. I said in pro level, I would say don't be a clown, because this is the pro level. Oh no. Sounds like you need to watch some more StarCraft. As behind this is going for an economic opener, Rax expand out of ByuN. And we'll see how ByuN does follow up here. So economic opener, we'll see where he takes us from here. Now, because of the initial eBay block, this does mean that it is now a little bit more easier here, more accessible to try to punish the defending Protoss, to punish the third base and to punish the natural. Because of the eBay, now we're stuck in between these bases, and it is not uncommon, to open up Stargate. Now, the reason why Stargate openers are common in specifically this situation is because the Oracle doesn't care about terrain. Defending with Stalkers and defending and relying on a gateway army early on and to rotate between the third and the main base can be very difficult and very awkward. Ooh, as one probe goes down. So the reason to go for the Stargate is because the Oracles and Phoenixes, they don't care about your terrain. They can bounce back and forth between the bases a lot easier to defend. So this is a common response if you are forced to take the unnatural natural. And we'll see if ByuN does abuse this. Back at home, no reactor to Hellion. So a way to take advantage of this situation is to go for a reactor on the Rax, add-on swap into reactor to Hellion, and then bam, you go into the bases, you go into the third, into the natural, back and forth, and you can wreak havoc. But we can see that ByuN, he's going for a tamer approach, going for a mind drop. So standard mind drop follow-up here out of ByuN. Not going for Hellion harass. As from here, we're building our Phoenixes. Of course, the downside of Stargate openers, as you can imagine, is you are vulnerable to all-ins. Two base all-ins can strike and can knock this down real fast and real hard. That's also why in standard play, Stargate openers are seen less often. They have been phased out of the meta just because of the prevalence and because of the high rate of two base all-ins from the side of Terran. As the mine drop is moving out into an add-on swap, tech lab on the starport. I would imagine just a Raven follow-up for a standard aggressive follow-up here, harassing follow-up I should say. One mine drop across the map. And Nevermind is going once again into Cloak Banshee. And as we saw in the last game, if you avoid detection, this can pop off. Meanwhile, nice clean up here out of Eva. Shuts down both Widow Mines, chases down the medevac, and he will shut down the harassment. Let's go. Mine drop is going to be cleaned up. Nicely done here by Eva. Behind this, cancels Cloak upon seeing the Phoenixes, and we are going for a Viking instead, headed towards anti-air. I just realized that ByuN, he actually hadn't, he was actually unaware of the Stargate play. So thankfully does cancel the Banshee. And now Eva, it does have map control. Oh. Does have map control. Containing ByuN. ByuN is being contained, forced to make more anti-air. Eva behind this can now saturate his own natural, can now build up his bases, build up his economy. And saturate. Though this guy was Zerg, Eba, he does have his Protoss at a very high level as well, so he does compete as Protoss or Zerg depending on the matchup. And again, he was tempted to play Zerg, very tempted, but then he talked himself out of it. I died. Feels bad, man, feels bad. So yes, did decide to switch to Protoss here against ByuN. A reasoning for that is that ByuN has been playing a lot of Cyclone, a lot of Mech recently in TvZ, and Eva is not a fan. Not a fan. As behind this, Eva is going to be saturating on 3 bases, pulls away. Behind this, working towards Charge, towards Archon, towards Storm as well. Needs a little bit more time for his upgrades to kick in. Does need more time. As from here, we can see we have thrown down... Okay, I was going to say we've thrown down 2 more Raxes, so this could be the beginning of a 2-base all-in, but we have add-ons on the way. There's a higher chance here that ByuN is going to get a 3rd CC. He's going to get a 3rd CC behind this. We'll keep an eye on ByuN, of course. And we'll see if he does commit to that expansion. Oh, nice catch. Gets one. Gets one Phoenix. Storm is almost halfway done. Eva needs a little bit more time. Also, this is a messy main. Has a lot of gateways all over the place. Let's go. As ByuN does move out. Will zone away. And again, Eva's aware of what's coming his way. Does get a 4th base in production. Massing up High Templar. Storm is going to be done just in time for this fight. Eva trying to catch reinforcements. And here comes the main push. Eva does have High Templar. He has 2. Okay, he has 2 High Templar ready. Eva, he will catch a medevac. West pulling back. Storm is ready. Speaking of, Storm here on the Widow Mines. Mine shots going to be going off. Brutal connections on the Zealots. Yeah, nice mine shots. But Storm is still ready, and ByuN, he cannot push up this ramp. Yeah, he's going to be zoned away. He's zoned back. Widow Mine is cleaned up. And ByuN going for a split push. We have a double drop towards the natural. Likewise, main army towards the 4th. Oh, Eva, he barely does miss the drop. Barely does miss. ByuN stems in. Drop into the natural. And the main army is deflected, but it's not about the main army, it's about the drop. And the drop does break through, takes down the Zealots, takes down the Warpins. Medevac goes down, forcing a recall. And Eva is being pulled apart here. Ooh, nice, very nice target firing there out of ByuN. Does focus on the Medevac, the High Templar. With that, still breaks through. Yeah, this drop is just getting out of hand. Now we get the storm towards the end, but that's going to be 11 probe kills. Did I say 11? 12. 12 workers go down. Again, Eva, he defends against the main army, but the drop did pop off. Finally going to be cleaned up. Finally going to be dealt with. ByuN rallying across the map. Now, we spoke about ByuN getting a third CC. He never did. Oh, there we go. There we go. So much later third base. This was very committed here by ByuN. He has done some damage, but remember, is now expanding. Still pushing forward. Are the storms ready? Not quite. KS 1. Soon to be 2. Storm brutal mine connection. ByuN takes down the shield battery. Eva trying to hold on. Can't bait out the mine shots. Trying to force a friendly fire. Does try to. ByuN moving in. Oh, good. Does take a storm to the face. Dropping back in towards the natural. Getting 5 more probe kills. This is adding up over time. Eva is being overwhelmed. Dropping into the main. Eva does keep up with those war pins. Eva, he's holding. He's surviving. But he needs to make more workers here. As ByuN is now saturating his third. Once again, being active on the map. Ghost production has begun. And again, the one thing keeping Eva in this game has been these storms. But with the arrival of Ghost, that's about to change. ByuN rotating over. Ooh, nice storm. Storm in the main army. ByuN, he does power through. And how many storms do we have left? 2 at Templar, 2 at Templar, at least 2 storms remaining. And ByuN, he just ignores the army, ignores the High Templar, rushes in. Oh, he's going to lose his army though. Overextends. Yeah, big overextension for ByuN. Better fight for Eva. Does take the better engagements. Does zone ByuN back. Even catching some of the medevacs. Oh my god. Almost. And with that, now Eva can enjoy his economy. He's on 77 probes. Again, this entire time, Eva has been struggling to maintain his bases, to maintain specifically his economy. But now it is booming. Now it is going to be booming. Now he can take a fifth base. Fifth base on the way. Is getting fully saturated, and Eva is now gaining map control. Now he's settling in. He's getting more comfortable. ByuN forced back home. That's a lot of EPs. That's a lot of ghosts. Eva has to respect this. As the ghost count is getting higher, we need more Colossus. How many do we have? Just one. Just one so far. Second one is on the way. Building up towards Colossi. Again, there's going to be 5 ghosts here. That's a lot of EMPs. 4 CCs on the way. ByuN forced back. It's going to be forced back. Go. Likewise, flanking storm, not bad. Does go for flanking storms once again. Oh no! The storms are brutal. Yeah, the flanking High Templar. ByuN getting shut down. Likewise, does he have enough? Another storm coming in, but there's not enough of a gateway army. More storms do connect. ByuN does take him to the face. There's no more storms remaining though. Yeah, barely not enough. Despite that, at the same time, 24 SCV. Oh my god, the Zealot run by. 24 SCVs go down. Never mind, ByuN, his economy is crippled. Yeah, the economy is crippled. Eva does overwhelm. 25 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, with that, Eva has double the worker count, double the economy. All he has to do is survive. Just survive. Behind this, I'd love to see a second robo, like a second robo just to afford more Colossus. Just to build up that army. Here we go. Yeah, GG. GG gets called. ByuN, his economy is crippled. And we're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game 3. GG. Again, we have seen Eva take it to ByuN before. If you recall, we did mention how he has, or the last time we saw him was on Pylon a couple of weeks ago. And now here he is up against ByuN. And again, the Zealot run by was brutal. 25 SCVs amidst of all the aggression, amidst of all the chaos. The Zealot run by did cripple. And with that, there was no economy left. There was no sustain. GG. GG, well played. Here we go. As we're getting into the ace match. Getting into game number 3. Does the ByuN show still run? The ByuN show hasn't been around for a couple of years at this point, but we have the podcast. We have the podcast, pappy. Here we go. Even guys at Eva's level plays Protoss against Terran still puts up a decent fight. Again, these are probably comments by people that don't watch much of our kind of like tournament scene. Eva, as Geralt says in the chat, has been playing Protoss for a long time. If you remember, he initially started playing Protoss, around like a year or 2 years ago, just to avoid ZVZ, kind of like Raynor, right? Like Raynor, or like we've seen Young Yakov do it as well. I think we've seen Wayne do it, where you do off race to avoid the mirror matchup. Like Clem also avoids CBT. Eva did the same. And I would say his Protoss is comparable to his Zerg when it comes to his skill level at this point. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Torches. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. Being forced into the ace match, it is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. We have the Protoss player from the UK representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Eva. Here we go. Because I think we are the only StarCraft 2 talk show at the moment. Unfortunately, like again, I used to watch remember Remax? There was Remax back in the day. There was obviously Unfiltered. Unfiltered. There was God, the late game. There was the late game as well. I want to say there was another that I used to watch. This is back in Heart of the Swarm. Good times, good times. I never watched Meta. Like Meta was, yeah, I never watched Meta when that was a thing. Yeah. But here we go. We're getting into game number 3 here in Double Gas. Okay, Double Gas open out of ByuN. A much more aggressive start out of our Terran player, going for a faster factory. Meanwhile, Eva going for a standard opener himself. And welcome one more to Torches. Torches is of course one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool, one of the most vetoed maps as well. We see a lot of all-ins, a lot of aggression here on Torches, and we'll see what ByuN does turn this into. Again, with Double Gas, we can go for, I mean, right now we don't really set up for an add-on swap. Interesting location with that Rax. We can go from factory into tech lab into starport into faster Banshee play, for example. That would make sense. The rush distance by air is very short on Torches, so we'll see what kind of aggressive build ByuN does embrace. He has options, whether it's Banshee, whether it's fast tank into early tank drop, whether it's Cyclone, whether it's Widowmine drop, Reaper Hellion. We'll keep our eyes on ByuN. Keep in mind the first episodes are years old at this point. True. Like, I think we started the podcast like back in 2020, but we rarely hosted it. It used to be like once, like every 4 months. Only recently do we do it weekly. Only recently. Like, we rarely had time for it, but we recognize, of course, that there was like room for it. Like, no one does talk shows anymore, so it's like, I may as well do our own. If no one's gonna do it, we may as well. I'll tell you right now, nowadays it's more of like a less of a talk show, and nowadays more like a weekly recap. Gotta get someone else on back. For now though, Reaper Hellion dipping into the mineral line, gets one. One probe goes down. Reaper's in towards the main. Does head in. We'll throw in the mineral line, so far getting one, so far getting up to almost 2. But as FSA do shut this down, 2 probes will fall for the cost of both Reapers. As ByuN, he should not escape with this. Yeah, he should not escape. And it's cleaned up. with that 2 Reapers for 3 probes. It's a bit of an even trade. And behind this, we're curious about the add-on swap here. It's going to be Rax into Starport, into Tech Lab, into initially Cyclone Drop. Okay, so Cyclone Drop opener. Eva does open Twilight Council in towards Blink. Stays on 2 bases, getting a Robo on 2 bases as well. Hey, if ByuN was going into Cloak Banshee, there would be a Robo for detection. We see that there is no Cloak Banshee, but just in case, Eva would be ready for that. We will not see a repeat of Game 1. Where Game 1 just ended because of the Cloak Banshee. So Eva is being secure, is being safe. Now 4v1 sort of thing. As Medevac does drop into the main. Army's out of position. Eva, he's here at the natural. Marines, they pop off. Probe's gonna be going down. Nice probe drilling though. Very nice. Solid crisis management. Hellion goes down. Eva holds. Eva, he does hold, he does deflect. Behind this, early tank production into tank Banshee. This is going to be a very dedicated 2-base push here out of ByuN. Ooh, cancels the Banshee, goes into the Raven. ByuN second guessing himself a little bit here. Does opt to go for the Raven. Needs to inflict mass cyclone to traumatize Eva for life. No race is safe. True. Unironically true. I mean, that's what Gumiho does, to be fair. Gumiho, he's not afraid to cyclone against Protoss as well. Este Gumiho. ByuN, he's only half a Gumiho right now. Only halfway. Maybe a third of the way, because Gumiho also plays Battle Mech against Terran. Like, he... Oh, no. ByuN, he'll get there, he'll get there. He's slowly falling to the dark side. So we go. ByuN does push, does move out. He's spotted. He's spotted by Eva. Eva ideally wants to engage ahead of time. Charge is not yet done. And Eva, he lands a couple of Stalkers. He can't really slow this down. Oh. ByuN pulling away for the time being. Consolidating his army. Still waiting for Stim. Stim is on the way. +1 as well. ByuN, he does not commit. ByuN, usually he's not really afraid to move out with a bit of a stimless timing with his tanks, but here upon being scattered, does pull away. Instead just waiting for his upgrades. Starts up the 3rd CC, not a 2-base all-in. Okay, he's expanding. I mean, we spoke about this at the start of the series, if you recall, where ByuN, amongst all the Korean Terrans, he's the one that's most willing to expand and not go for all-ins. Like, ByuN right now, he's the most macro out of all the Korean Terrans. I mean, we've seen that in the series so far. Like, 0 2-base all-ins. As he moves out. Trying to catch out the Stalkers. Again, Eva just slowing this down, buying time. Charge is now done. Charge is complete, building it towards Colossus. This time, no Storm. And no Storm for Eva. ByuN does commit. Pushing towards the bases. Where's the Colossus? We haven't... Yo, Eva. where's the Colossus? I just assumed there would be one. We have Extendo Walens, but no Colossus. GG gets called. Bappy, we forgot the space draft. And ByuN, he will overwhelm. He will take the series at 2-1. GG. I'll be honest, when I saw Extendo Walens, I just assumed there was a Colossus. Like, I just assumed that we had a setup there. No, Pappy, no, there was nothing. There was an Immortal. There were a couple of gateway units, but alas, ByuN did overwhelm, did wedge himself in between the bases. GG. GG, well played. ByuN will claim the series 2-1, but a shout out to Eva because he was able to pop off in game 2. And again, I'm sure we can see Eva tighten things up and take it to ByuN next time. GG. GG, well played. Going to the ace match, not bad. Not bad at all against ByuN, as ByuN does advance on, and the question becomes, who's up next? Let's go. Let's find out as we can switch our scenes over and catch up on the brackets. Bam. We have our semis ready for us. Oh my god, we have a lot of catching up to do.